history is now restored as the town of St. Paul reopened the Destrube house after nearly a century. As Anna Stanislaw explains, the historic site first belonged to one of Alberta's early pioneers.
The Destrube brothers first settled in the St. Paul area where they built their house in 1914. But over the years, parts of the house were destroyed and abused.
Vandalism and everything else was happening to it, and it was offered to us. And when we discovered how many ties it had to St. Paul, we had the manpower and we had the means of moving it here and restoring it, so we went ahead with it.
With the help of volunteers and a book written by one of the Destrube brothers, the house is now back in its original condition.
We had a lot of encouragements from our town. They offered us extra land to put it on. We had the land to put it on, but they didn't feel it was suitable, so they offered us this extra land to put it on. And we had support from all the businesses and private donations. Like it was well accepted.
One of the members of the Destrube family was overwhelmed to see their century-old house in its new state.
I lived here for the first 13 years of my life, and as a child I had what you see, but it was much more embellished by my father, and it had been expanded a lot by my father.
The St. Paul Museum hopes the site will give people an in-depth look into their history.
The young generation, it gives them some tie to the past, and hopefully they can appreciate what our forefathers went through to build this country and to get this community going.
Anna Stanislaw, Newcap News.
After 3 years of planning and building, the Marwayne Agriplex is now up and running. Area residents say this will make their community even better. Nara Manisa brings us all the details.
And with the cutting of the red ribbon, the Marwayne Agriplex is officially open for business. The building is now home to a 400-person banquet hall, and as fitting, a dinner was held last night to celebrate the hard work put in by the community.
It's just creating so many more opportunities. You know, we now have the ability to host functions that we previously couldn't because of just our sheer size constraint. We have educational opportunities now with our meeting room.
I think it'll have a lot of impact on the town in creating a venue to have weddings and family functions, and just it's going to create a whole excitement level, I believe, in the community to attract people to have more events.
The event so big for the village, even Alberta's Lieutenant Governor was in attendance. He received a special plaque from the mayor.
And we hope that you appreciate it as much as we do and enjoy it.
Thank you.
The $2.4 million building is completely paid for. The next phase of the Agriplex is to upgrade the arena's lobby. They will hold a fundraising event sometime this fall.
In retrospect, this week from the archives, a very special visitor is spreading a message of hope, and we see the repercussions of a grad party gone wrong. Bryden Hardy has more.
Woven into the fabric of Canada is the legend of Terry Fox, the one-legged cancer crusader. In 1992, Terry's mother, Betty, visited Lloydminster to offer her own words of hope.
It's been over 10 years since the late Terry Fox began his cross-Canada run to raise money for cancer research. Local members of the Saskatchewan Candlelighters had a chance to hear some first-hand stories of Terry's life when his mother, Betty, made a visit to Lakeland College last Friday to share some memories of her son.
And I always say to people, for goodness sake, if something persists, do something about it. Don't be like Terry. Don't be stubborn. Because we all know that cancer, if it's caught soon enough, it certainly is treatable.
Darcy Modin, NewsHour.
A letter in the newspaper by concerned parents following a 1988 so-called Safe Grad party prompted much reaction and a somber sign-off by our reporter.
This letter to the editor in the local newspaper has caused quite a stir.
The letter lays out in graphic detail the last hurrah for the graduating class of Wainwright High.
What really bothers me is that we as parents say we will accept responsibility for the behavior of 700 people, and we will take responsibility for them.
I feel that the children had a fantastic time, and they lived to tell about it, and that was our goal.
Exactly, they're waiting for somebody to die.
But if you're a graduate, remember this. If a friend or a classmate dies from alcohol poisoning, choking on his own vomit, drunk driving, then that friend is gone. He's gone for good. I'm Glen, Kirby, Broadcast Center News.
Groundbreaking for the new Thorpe Recovery Center on our next installment of Retrospect, this week from the archives.
Retrospect this week from the archives is brought to you by Webb's Ford. Worth your while to drive the extra mile. Webb's Ford in Vermilion.